Who's with us today?
Sam Shore.
Sam Shore. Woo! Welcome. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Even better now that we're talking to you. Maya, take it away, girl.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for calling in. I've been so excited for this.
Well, I've been so excited too, and I'm so excited to chat with you and get to know more about you and talk about the music.
So my first question for you is, when did you first know you wanted to be a singer?
I think when I was about 3 or 4, I started singing around the house. And that was when my parents put me in musical theater and I started doing a bunch of shows. And it's really been kind of in my life and in my blood since I was born. And I can't really remember a time in my life when I wasn't singing. I always did other sports or did other things, but I always went back to singing lessons or piano lessons every Tuesday. So.
Oh, cool. So what was the inspiration for your debut song, Already Mine?
Yeah. So I'm also a songwriter for other people and for a lot of pop stars and other artists. So I originally wrote the song to pitch to other artists. And my best friend had just gone through a really hard breakup. And I had just had a conversation with her, and I was also just in the studio with one of my good friends who's a producer, and he had just gone through a breakup, and we were trying to figure out what we should write about. And I just felt like breakups were very much top of mind. And so we kind of were like, okay, let's write a breakup song. And he was like, okay, well, I'm still sad about my last breakup. So can we please write a breakup song that's not sad? And I was like, a breakup song that's not sad? That felt kind of impossible. I was like, how do we do that? So I was like, okay, what if we wrote some sort of anthem that was liberating and kind of allowed people to embrace being single and get over heartbreak and stuff? So I originally wrote it about that. And the song came super naturally to me. It took like 30 minutes to write, I think. And we originally wanted to pitch it to some other people. And then a friend of mine was like, no, you should keep it for yourself and put it online and see what people think. And people really liked it. So.
Oh, that's so cool. I am obsessed with that song. I love it. So it's one of my favorites right now. So.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned that you're a songwriter for other artists. What made you decide to put out your own music?
Yeah, so I was in a band in early college with one other girl who was one of my good friends, and we were putting out stuff as a band. And so when the band kind of fizzled out because of COVID and we couldn't really be together anymore, that's when I started writing for other people. But I'd always been used to releasing my own music through the band. And I'd always, even in high school, I had released my own music on SoundCloud and stuff. And I think it was just time for me because I love writing with other artists so much, but I was feeling really drained because I felt like when you write for other artists, a lot of the time, unless you're writing with the artists themselves, the songs that you write just never go anywhere. You'll pitch them to these major artists and then the artist will pick a different song and your song just kind of sits there and never is used. And I was like, I feel like I'm writing a lot of really good songs that I want people to hear and that I think would help people and that people would enjoy, but they aren't getting picked up. They'll get to the very end and then Selena Gomez will be like, I want to go with a different song. And so then I was like, okay, shoot, all these great songs are being made. I feel like it's time for them to be out in the world. And then I was like, why wouldn't I just release them myself? I feel like I'm ready. And so that was kind of why, just because I feel like I have a lot of material that I was sitting on and a lot of stuff that I'm about to release too, that just needed to be heard, I think.
Oh, cool. Yeah. My next question was, I was actually about to ask you if you plan on releasing any new music soon.
Yeah. So it's hard right now because I have a lot of songs that I want to release. And so I'm trying to figure out what's next. Definitely there is a lot more to come. I'm planning on releasing all throughout the year. So by the end of the year, we should have a lot more music. Hopefully, I don't even know how many songs I'm allowed to say, but definitely a lot. And I'm just kind of trying to decide, I originally posted this song on TikTok, and that's where I found the beginning of my success. And that's kind of how people found me. And so it's kind of depending on what I'm going to release next, kind of depends on what people on TikTok are saying and also what kind of sound I genuinely want to have. But I'm planning on releasing something in March. So I think everyone can look forward to that. I can't announce exactly what yet, but it will be definitely in the same vein as Already Mine.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm excited to hear it. So
I'm excited too.
So who are your biggest musical influences?
I have a lot. I think my all-time favorite artist ever is Taylor Swift. I just love her. And I loved her growing up just so much. And I think that as a songwriter, I've always really admired her because, like I was saying earlier, like I've always been a writer first. And I just love that she writes all her own stuff. And she literally narrated my whole life. Like every album of hers kind of, served as like a different point in my life. So I would say I love Taylor. I also love, in terms of like the pop girls right now, like love Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo. I love Julia Michaels. And then I have like some other influences, just lyrical influences. I also love like rappers like Kendrick Lamar. I love older artists like Bob Dylan. My top three are probably Kendrick Lamar, Taylor Swift, and Bob Dylan, just because like in all different genres, I just feel like they have such great control of storytelling and lyricism. So I love all of them a lot.
Oh, cool. So who would be your dream singer to collaborate with?
That's really hard because my obvious first choice, because I'm such a fan, would be Taylor Swift. I would love to write with her. But if I ever did a like collaboration on the writing wise, I'd love to write with her. Collaboration for one of my songs, I would honestly love to do something with like Megan Thee Stallion or Doja Cat. Like I would just love to have them like put a verse on one of my songs. That would be super cool. I'd also love to write with Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas. I would love to do a session with them.
Oh, cool. So what is your songwriting process like?
It's kind of different for every song. A lot of the times, it started when I was like 12, 13 in my bedroom, and I would have my guitar, my piano, and I just write kind of for myself, like whatever I was feeling, if I was going through something or if I had a crush or whatever it was kind of my way to heal. And I would do it more when it was very feeling based. Like if I was feeling sad, I'd go upstairs and I'd write a song. If I was feeling happy, I would do that. But now it's my job. So now I go to the studio kind of every day around like 12 or 2 or sometimes at night. And, I get in there and either I'll bring in an idea that I had, whether it's like an idea for a concept or an idea for a melody that I was playing on at home or whatever, or the producer that I work with, his name's Johnny. Sometimes I work with a lot of producers, but he's like my main collaborator for my own stuff. Mm-hmm. And, he will sometimes have an idea and we'll kind of go off of that. So I don't know, sometimes it's just me at my piano when I'm kind of in my feels. And then other times, when it's work, I'll go back into my notes page and be like, okay, what do I really want to say? And it's hard. Yesterday I was in a session and I was so excited for the session, but I was like, what do I want to say? Like, what do I want to write about? Like, I don't know. And so it took a little bit to like kind of get off the ground. And then we wrote a really cool song. So it's kind of different every time.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I love writing songs. And I love hearing everybody's songwriting process. I think it's so cool.
What do you do in your songwriting process? What's yours like?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of just, I don't know, try to take like things I'm feeling and that I'm either like I'm sad about or happy or mad about, and just try to put it into a song. Like I wrote a lot of songs when I was younger, and then I went through a couple years where I didn't really do anything, and then when quarantine hit, I had all these feelings I just had to get out, and so that's when I wrote a lot. So
no, it's really hard. I think that as much as I feel so lucky that I get to do music as a job, but it's work. Sometimes you kind of go through those phases where you're like, you're just not writing or you're just not creating. And then other times, like when you said you went into quarantine, you're like, oh my gosh, I have so much stuff that I want to say. So that's super cool. Are you a singer too?
I'm not. I like to sing, but I can't sing, so I don't ever do it in front of people. So I just I write them down, and then I do music therapy. So my music therapist and I are working on recording some of them.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So
I want to hear them.
Well, so she already recorded a couple, so I could send one to you if.
I'd love that. I love it. Yeah, maybe after the interview, you send me one and I can listen to it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to share one with you. So
cool. Yay. Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you had to wake up to one song every morning, what would it be?
That's a good question. Oh my gosh, that's a hard one. If I had to wake up to one song every morning. Okay, really random. There is just one song that it's just a really happy song. And it's not even by a favorite artist of mine. I mean, I love this artist, but it's called 1, 2, 3, 4 by Feist. And it's just a super happy song. And I think if I had to wake up to something every morning, it would probably be that song.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So are there any new artists that you're currently obsessed with?
Yes, there are definitely a lot of new artists. I was saying that to someone the other day, actually, because I was like, I really haven't been super excited to go to a concert lately, A, because of COVID, and B, because I feel like either my big favorite artists aren't touring or whatever. But the concerts that I've been most excited to go to have been newer artists. I really love Remy Wolf. I don't know if you know Remy Wolf, but she's great. Do you know her?
I don't.
Okay, I'll send you some of her stuff. She's really awesome.
Thank you.
Also love, let me check my most recent playlist. I love Upsall. She's a great artist. I love this artist named Emmeline. Emmeline.
Oh, yeah. Emmeline, does she sing the song Rapunzel?
That's Emmeline. Yes, I love her. Yeah.
Yeah, I recently discovered her and I'm obsessed with that song. So
isn't she great? Yeah. So I'm a huge fan of her. I also love her song Bomb. I love Rapunzel. She's awesome. So yeah, all of these, I feel like there are a lot of really powerful female songwriters coming out of the woodworks right now. And I'm just loving their stuff. So yeah, huge fan.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So are you binge watching anything right now?
I am actually binge watching too many things right now. I don't know why. I swear I'm watching 3 different things. I'm watching I'm watching Euphoria right now, which is like a little darker. That's kind of my like weekly watch. I also watch This Is Us
Oh, yeah.
every week. And then I'm currently binging America's Next Top Model. Old seasons of that, which is so just funny to watch. But yeah, those are kind of my big three. What about you? Are you watching anything right now?
Yeah, I just finished watching a show called A Teacher, which it came out in 2020, and I wanted to see it since it came out, but didn't, or I hadn't seen it. So I just watched that with my mom, and we watched it in just like a day.
Yeah.
So, and then we watched a Netflix show called Murderville, which is very entertaining.
I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one is really fun and funny. And a show called The Woman in the Window across the street from, or The Woman in the House across the street from the girl in the window.
Oh,
so it's a long title, but
that's a tongue twister.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, now I'm watching How I Met Your Father. So
got it. Love it. Love it. Those are good ones.
Yeah. So also I'm binge watching a lot. So
lots of binge watching right now. I know.
Yeah. Just last year I binge watched all of Teen Wolf. And so that has been one of my favorite things I've binge watched during quarantine.
I love it. I love it. Love Teen Wolf. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the best. Yeah. So what is your all-time favorite movie?
All-time favorite movie. Oh. These are good questions. I need to like think about these. Okay. I really love the movie Silver Linings Playbook with Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper. I'm kind of like love dramas. I also am an actor, so I've just always loved like playing dramatic roles. I love dramatic movies. I love drama. I am kind of just like, I'm kind of a sad girl. Like I kind of am just dramatic. So I love, that's like kind of my all-time favorite movie. I also love, what's like a comedy that I just love? I love the movie Easy A. I'm not sure if you've seen that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good one. What about you? What's your favorite movie?
Okay, so I have three favorite movies. I love Shazam. I am just obsessed with that movie. And I love a rom-com called Home Again.
Yes, love.
Yeah, and then I love the musical The Prom.
I love The Prom. Are you into musical theater?
I am, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I grew up doing musical theater. I was a theater major in college. I just love all that. So I just went, what did I recently see when I was in New York? I've seen like Hamilton, the classics, like Wicked, like all those, but I loved Waitress. Do you know Waitress?
Yeah, I love that one.
I love it. Every time I'm in New York, I like have to go see it. It's the best.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I always tell my mom and like my sister, if I had a time machine, I would go back to see the original cast of Spring Awakening on Broadway, because that's my favorite musical of all time. I found it. Oh, really?
That's mine, yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I found it. Well, I found it because of a show called Rise. I was obsessed with that. And then, so I only ever listened to like their covers or their versions of the songs. And then, right when lockdown happened, I found the um, original cast recording. And yeah, I've basically had that on a loop since the pandemic started.
It is the best. Spring Away. I loved Rise, by the way, too. When I was in high school, I was in Spring Awakening and I played Marta. And then when I was in college, I was in it again and I played Ilsa. And then I was in it again for like this concert thing and I played Ilsa again. So I feel like I know that show like the back of my hand. It is the best music. It's the best.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite song?
Oh gosh. Well, I honestly love the Mama Who Bore Me reprise with all the girls. That was like my favorite thing to sing just because the harmonies in the song are like so hard. And so once you nail them, it's super fun. And if you get to sing like the very top harmony, it's like you just belt really high and it's really fun. I also love Whispering too. And I love Touch Me. Touch Me is great. What about you? What's your favorite song?
Well, I love them all, but I think my favorite is It Starts With Totally.
I was going to say that one, but I didn't know if I could say it.
You can say the first part. Yeah, Totally. And then I love All That's Known. Yeah, because Jonathan Groff is just like my favorite. So
Same.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you do to get yourself motivated when you're having a bad day?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think lately I've been kind of in a funk. I just like graduated college and,
Congratulations.
Thank you. But when you're going through personal stuff, and I just went through a move and I recently like had COVID and some stuff was going on with my family. And I was just like, it's hard to like stay motivated during those times, but I have actually found that I think when you stay busy, it actually makes you happier. Like even when you're kind of going through hard things and when you feel overwhelmed. So the best way that I like to stay motivated, is I just like to make lists and like be organized. And even if I don't really have anything to do for a few days, like setting out a routine, sticking to it. I think that also when, it's really important to know to know yourself well enough to know when it's time to take a break. I think that for me, I sometimes like run myself into the ground and I'll be, as when I was in college, like this past year, I'd be going to classes all day. I'd be going to work and then I'd be going to the studio and I'd be doing all these things. And I was like, okay, it is okay to like take a day off and it's okay to rest. So I think just knowing yourself and also knowing, kind of whatever feeling you have at that day and that moment will pass, and kind of just knowing this too shall pass. And like tomorrow's a new day. It's hard sometimes, but I think reminding yourself of that is important.
Yeah. Yeah. So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
Wow. A real life superhero. That is really hard. I think probably my parents, like for different reasons. I think I really, really admire both of them. And I think that they taught me a lot about, work ethic and kindness and life. And both of them, didn't grow up under like the easiest circumstances, and neither of them have had the easiest lives, like by any means. And I think that, I just really admire they've been faced with a lot of adversity and like have overcome it. And I think they always go through life with a smile, like no matter what is going on at the moment. Like they've taught me, to be respectful and to, be mindful, but to also like try to lead life with a smile, like no matter what. And I think that, I really respect both of them for that. So they're definitely my superheroes and are the most supportive people ever.
Oh, cool. I love that. Yeah. That was my last question for you, and I've just had so much fun talking to you. So thank you so much for calling in.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for having me. I had the best time. I love that we have the same favorite musical because no one, like some people just don't even know about it. So
yeah.
I love chatting with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also always love meeting somebody else who loves Spring Awakening, because there are some people, like some friends I've talked to, who have no idea what it is. And so I'm like, look it up.
Well, thank you so much, Maya. And thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a great day. I know Maya will keep us updated with when and where to find your music. So we will keep our ears open for that. So thank you and have a great day.
Sounds good. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye.